Today, what I want to introduce you to or remind you of is the emotional scale. So, right now, what's happening, and this is often the way when we're moving through times of challenge, um, doesn't matter what that is, by the way, whether that's interrupted finances going on, actually, if that's increased success going on, if that is spending time with friends and family in a different way, missing people, if you are an introvert and you're having to look after your extrovert friends for a change, or if you are just ultimately noticing that your moods might be a bit more spiky and you feel like it would be better if they were like this, just a little bit softer ultimately. So, one of the things that I'm known for is helping people move through what is called radical contact for life. I often work with a ladder around the emotional scale. I use the word ladder, I use the word scale. Sometimes I even talk about it as a piano because again, we talk about this up and downness. And for me, in my experience as a coach, as a mentor, as a spiritual teacher, as an interfaith minister, softening the curve and making the emotional scale feel like it might be from the bottom of the keyboard all the way to the top levels out some of that just that mental challenge that can come with this idea that you've got to go up or you've got to go down. So, for the purposes of what I'm sharing with you with the emotional scale, I want us to think about the piano, or I want you to think about the keyboard or xylophone, as somehow for some reason came into my brain then. And I want you to think about the fact that there are loads of keys, so many notes in between fear and love. Now, fear is the heaviest of emotions we can feel. It is like the anchor that just pulls us down, and then there we are without breath. It takes us close to depression, it takes us close to anxiety, takes us close to disconnection, and we start to meditate or attempt to meditate on questions such as who am I? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Which, another topic of conversation, you're never going to get a really authentic answer to those things at any point. So if you've been asking yourself those questions, give yourself the day off, let yourself off the hook, relax. So for today, we're talking about emotional scale. Fear is at the bottom. You're going to notice me looking down because I have made some notes. And so we're going to let you understand how to move across this scale of emotion. So if we're in fear, powerlessness, disconnection, grief, heaviest emotions at this sort of left hand side of the keyboard, if you will. Now, here's the thing to say as well: what you want to look for, what you want to feel for, what I encourage you to be aware of is when your emotional state shifts. Because actually, so much of the joy that we're working towards is in the moment when we recognize a state has changed. So if you're feeling depression, disconnection, disempowerment, despair, powerlessness, and you move to a feeling of guilt or unworthiness, or maybe insecurity, that is better. That's a better feeling to be in. Then from there, if you move to jealousy, jealousy is better than depression. So congratulations, you're moving across this scale. Then if you move into rage or into hatred, that's better than all those ones before. So we're beginning to move across the emotional scale. This is what we want. You want to recognize that it is not simply as the difference between a black and a white key when you are basically going to go from fear to love, joy, bliss, highest devotion in one step. There is such a thing as a miracle. There are many miracles that are happening, but again, this is recognizing the different notes, the different tones, the different colors that move us through this scale. So from fear is insecurity sort of trumps fear, if you will. Jealousy trumps insecurity. Hatred and rage is better than the aforementioned. If you start getting into revenge is really healthy or healthier than those other emotions or those other notes. Then we're going into anger. Anger is better than revenge. Discouragement, a healthier version of moving away from anger towards something else, coming up the scale now. Blame, also healthier. Worry sort of trumps blame as well. So we're moving again, moving, taking responsibility, feeling our conscious part of this web that is happening. Moving into disappointment, from disappointment to overwhelm. Thumbs up, we're moving up the scale, we're moving across the scale here, moving into frustration, irritation, a lot of that going on at the minute, isn't there? We're kind of in the middle of the keyboard at this point, so super easy to slide back down. Let's get curious about what sliding on across feels like though as well. Pessimism, fantastic. Pessimism, moving into boredom, brilliant. Boredom, healthier than pessimism, if you will, more encouraging, trumps those previous emotions. Then from boredom, it's interesting, boredom to contentment, just a little bit on the old scale there. Contentment into hopefulness. This is even better. I'll give you 2 thumbs up. Don't normally do a thumbs up, but it's happening. And then into optimism, into positive belief, positive expectation. This is where I spend quite a lot of my time up here, trained, I might add, just as all my clients who were looking for the medicine that I provide found. They were like, you're that woman that's got the thing that I want. You've got that glow. You look like you have got the key for something. Positive expectation, a really lovely place to spend your time. From positive expectation, we then move into eagerness, enthusiasm, deeper curiosity, which is really, really great. And then we might even be able to move into passion. And then we move into deep love, appreciation, bliss, devotion, empowerment, and joy. Just allowing that all to breathe and settle. So there's no, when somebody says, can't you get over this, for example, you can say to them, no, I can't get over it, but I might be able to move with it, through it, or beyond it. I might be able to recognize the next state, the next emotion, the next opportunity for me to fully witness where I have been and where I'm moving through and what I'm moving towards. And remember, all states are temporary. So it's even joy, bliss, love, prosperity, the feeling of deepest abundance, connection, creativity, receptivity, the magic. These can also fluctuate ultimately on across the scale of emotion, or what I would think of as radical contact with life. Really important that we recognize all the different emotions that are going on, because they are ours to experience, and we don't want any false positives. Feel what you're feeling, honor what you're feeling, move through that scale, be flexible with your heart at this time, every single time. Work with that, play with that, have fun with it, jot the words down, put them on post-it notes, put them around the house if you want to as well. Just notice how you're moving through your keyboard, your piano, towards your crescendo ultimately of up here. Positive expectation just makes the day supercharged and a lot easier to handle. See how you got on with that and let me know. I'm Reverend Gail Love-Schock. Always a delight to hang out with you. Enjoy, and I will see you very, very soon.